Joy, I just want to come on real quick and I got a encouragement. Let me tell you something. You know how we say, God, take a desire away from me, a desire that God, that's in your heart. And like I always tell God, I've been telling him recently, Lord, if it's not your will for me to get married again, take that desire out of my heart. And I was just thinking about maybe 2006. I had this extreme lust in my heart for one of my brothers at the church. He was married, I was married. I never acted up on that lust or anything, but I still got in major trouble with God about that lust. It was serious. Not no lust where I wanted to have sex with him or anything like that, but I did have a lust where I really desired him to be my husband. So anyway, God really dealt with me about that. So then we was at the same church together, our family, his family and my family. Then we wound up going to the next church together. So that thing was always in my face. And I remember one day I told God, I said, God, remove this, take this away. And the Lord told me, I will not remove it. You just better not touch it. And so he brought up the fact how in the garden with Adam and Eve, God could have simply had it situated where where the tree of the knowledge of good and evil wasn't in the garden. God could have took that tree out of the garden, but he did not take that tree out of the garden. What he did was commanded them not to eat of it. So what God told me is, no, I'm not going to remove him. You just better not touch it. So what happened was, what God showed me was some things we ask God to take away the desire from us. But some things God is not going to take away that desire from us. We have to die to that desire. Because I remember one day I was fed up with that lust in my heart. I was fed up. When you get fed up with something, you are going to do something. So what happened was, the only way that lust came out of me is through fasting and prayer. It would not loose me. I had to fast that thing out. I had to die to that sin. So I remember one day I was just tired, and I told God, I said, God, are you going to deliver me from this? And I had this statue in my house. It had all the names of God, and one of the names was I am. So when I asked God, are you going to deliver me from this? I looked up at the statue, and it's at the, the little picture. It said, I am. So I just started crying. And that day, God delivered me, but I had to fast that desire out of my heart. So I said that to say this. We got to be willing to die to our desires in order to fulfill God's purpose for our lives. So if you have a desire for somebody and it just won't leave, or you have this lust in your heart for somebody and it just won't break, you have to die to that. And the only way to die to sin is you have to fast that sin out. You understand? You got to die to your flesh, starve that sin, starve that fleshly desire. So that's why, and I remember, let me say this real quick, and I'm gonna go. I remember when they finally left and got their church, they wound up starting a church. And so I wanted to go visit to support them because I loved him and her. That's my brother. I love him, but I also was attracted to him. And then, me and Greg, we were just always arguing, and I don't know, we had built a wall between each other. So I wasn't easily attracted to people, but I was to him. And one thing about it, when that gripped me, it grips me. It's like if I zone in on you, that's it. I ain't looking at nobody else. So that's how the devil tried to trick me with this situation. Well, when they started that church, my sister wanted me to come and visit. I wanted to go support him. So I went on ahead and did it. But the Lord told me, don't go. See, because I couldn't be around him at that point. God brought me out of it, but it wasn't out of me yet. So to keep being around it was stirring up that desire to want to be that man's wife, which was adultery in my heart. So what happened was, God told me don't go visit. I went anyway. When I was coming down the elevator, I heard the lady on the elevator said, you're going down. I knew that was God speaking to me. I knew that was God. So when I left, I didn't know what kind of punishment I was going to receive, but I left, my car started acting up. Got to the gym, parked my car, and guess what? I couldn't go back. I couldn't pull back out because the reverse on my car was broke. I couldn't bag back. And God told me, you cannot go back. No reverse. You can't go back. So I had to get my car towed and get it fixed, but I knew that was my punishment. So all I'm telling you is this: don't go back to that lust. If that thing is right there in your face and you can't move it and you can't move yourself, don't touch it until God changes the situation. Fast and pray until you don't see that person that way anymore. Now, when I look at my brother, I can go visit that church. I can support him because I don't have no desire for him anymore. That lust is dead. So some things, some desires, God didn't give it to you anyway. So he's not going to take it from you. You got to die to that mess. And until that mess is dead, don't you touch it. I love you. God bless. Bye.